Amplifyou family, Michelle Abraham, your host here today. And guys, if I got a treat for you today, we've got a behind the mic interview with Andrea Menard, who is one of our podcast guest booking clients. And she is an absolutely amazing person, and I can't wait to introduce her to you. But before I do, let's say hi. Hey, Andrea.
Hi, Michelle. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to be a part of the family.
Yes, we're so grateful that you are here. And I just recently got to see Andrea in a play in Granville Island in Vancouver that she wrote and performed called Rub-a-Boo. And it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. My mom took me for my birthday. And it was just such a cool experience. And Rub-a-Boo is this kind of like, it's like a Métis word for like stew and feast. And it really was. It was like so nourishing to the soul to sit there and listen to like between stories. And it was Andrea's music and stories and legends and all sorts of things put into this amazing 90 minutes. So I just wanted to say congratulations on that show. And I know you did it in Toronto and then you did it in Vancouver. And it was really cool. I absolutely loved it.
Thank you. It was so nice that my Amplifyou family came and that I could see you. I could see you in the audience smiling away and singing and crying. And
it was so cool.
So thank you for being there.
Oh, you're welcome. I was just sharing with Andrea before we press record that part of the ending of it, where the whole audience starts singing and I could hear these old men behind me singing. And I was like, it was so nice to hear because it's not something you hear elderly men singing very often. And it was like a really great experience for them too. So, so awesome. And you're just fresh off of 2 months of performance and we're so grateful that you're still able to speak and you're able to be here with us.
No rest for the creative.
That's right. Well, let me tell you guys a little bit more about Andrea because I don't normally like share so much about people's bios, but Andrea's got one of the most impressive bios that I have read in a long time. And I just want to make sure that you guys grasp everything that she is up to these days. So Andrea is an accomplished Métis singer, songwriter, actor, speaker, and wellness trainer. She's the founder of the Sacred Feminine Learning Lodge and is seen in USA Today. Andrea is an influencer in feminine leadership and was named one of Women Executive Network's Canada's most powerful women, top 100 award winner in 2020. She's an advocate for reconciliation, and Andrea trains women to lead like a goddess and helps all gender people to reclaim and embody the qualities of the sacred feminine. She's also the author of the Seeds from the Sacred Feminine Wisdom cards, which we're going to talk about today, which are going to be launching pretty soon. And she's also, you may have seen her recently on TV on Netflix. She's one of the co-stars of the new CTV series, Sullivan's Crossing. Andrea is also a 5-time Gemini-nominated actress, a 15-time Music Award winner, and nominated Actra National Woman of the Year for 2021. She's released 5 award-winning albums, including her latest Michif language album, A Symphony Show, and 2 television programs, and her TEDx talk called Silent No More. Now, Andrea's bio goes on, and I just wanted to highlight those amazing things because, wow, Andrea, when do you sleep? So many amazing things that you are up to. Your song piece was even at the World's NATO. You was sang in the World NATO to the World's NATO generals, which is pretty fun, amazing. And you performed in front of royalty, prime ministers, governor generals, residential school survivors. Like, oh wow. Wow. There's so many amazing things. And we got the pleasure of meeting each other in the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers Network, which is CAPS. And that is really cool. And your family is from Manitoba, you're Métis. And I love, do you want to share the names that you have?
Yeah, so I usually introduce myself. So thank you for that introduction. And this is how I usually introduce myself. I tell people, do you mind if I introduce myself? So, Tanchi Kiawao, Andrea Menard Dishnikashon, Nin Shkotekwe, and Nia Uma Notuboyutin. So I'm a Métis woman from Treaty 1 territory in the homeland of the Métis, and I am currently living in the unceded traditional territory of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and the Musqueam people. So what I said was, hello, everyone. I'm Andrea Menard. I carry the names Shkotekwe, which is fire woman, and Anishinaabemowin, a name I was given in ceremony, and my Nechiawan name, my Cree name, Notagoyutin, which means grandmother wind, which I was also given in ceremony. So these names deeply inform my work. Fire and wind and earth and water.
And that was a big part of Rubaboo too, the performance. And from the sounds of it, your grandmother inspired a lot of your work as well.
Yeah, well, and it's also the grandmothers, like those in the spirit realm, and my mamere is definitely in the spirit realm. So those who very loud, bossy grandmothers. And if you're a creative person, you got to get into a space of listening and receiving that information. I'm quite good at listening to their bossy words and impressions.
That's awesome. How does one start to listen? Because I think that's something that a lot of us in this busy world need to stop and start doing some more listening.
Great question. So in a way, to me, that's the heart of the sacred feminine. According to, I'll give you a little bit of background. So in order, my elders said, and I heard it for the first time in this particular way in 2012, when there was a gathering of elders at the Sagin First Nation in the Turtle Lodge. And Elder Dave Kershane was the spokesperson for many elders all across Turtle Island, which is North America, who said, we are now in the time of the rise of this sacred feminine. And I had been hearing little things like this, but that was the moment it all made sense. It wasn't just that I'd heard that it's a time being led by women, and it's a time of returning to the circle. It's a time of Mother Earth. But the time of the rise of the sacred feminine means that's everybody. That includes everyone. So every single person has a feminine and a masculine. And so in this very Western model, which is not like the indigenous perception of way of living, in that Western way of looking at the world, action is everything. Action is gold. And in a way, all things masculine are valued, but all things feminine are not valued as much. And so in the listening receptivity realm that's feminine. And so in this, our society that is dangerously out of balance, if we race towards action all the time, doing, and never stop and listening and receiving wisdom from a higher perspective, we take actions that aren't grounded in wisdom for ourselves, for others, and for the planet. And that is where we've gone wrong. So how do we start listening? See, with that back story.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we listen? We have to make it a priority. We have to make it something that we start to value, because our systems and our activity and our dangerous imbalance will not change until individual after individual after individual decides to change their priorities. Action is only wise when we have tuned in with our ancestors, with our deep inner wisdom, with our intuition to go, is this the right decision? And the answer might be not yet, not yet. Action is good, just not yet. Or it'd be like, make that phone call today. Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. So it's about listening for when, or creating, because if our governments did that, if we had a society of people that listened, policies wouldn't have been created that destroy the earth or destroy a nation of people or colonize women, individuals, people of color, right? Those things wouldn't have happened if we valued listening to higher wisdom and took action after we received it.
Yeah, it feels like we're in such a fast-paced world that seems that needing to put that slowing down and turning inwards. And you feel like so many people are turning to their inner wisdom now more so than ever, which is fantastic. But even more of a slowing down, I think, is needed. So you help women especially learn to lead like a goddess. What does that mean?
Well, to me, all of my teachings are land-based. You know, Mother Earth is the original source of wellness for humanity, the original sacred feminine, right? She is the mother of all of us. And when we return to the land, when we move into relationship with the earth, with the alive things, with the plants, with all our relatives that are in community with us, we change. And so at this moment, in the masculine model, which again, nothing wrong with masculine aspects of life, just as sacred, just as beautiful, but they need to be balanced with the sacred feminine. They need to be honored equally. So in this world where women, and I'll speak from, because you asked about women leading like a goddess, is that women, in order for us to succeed in the systems that exist, we have been developing and overdeveloping our masculine skills that drive us to exhaustion, that drive us past our intuition, that ignore our feelings, the whole things that make us beautiful and wise. And so, like my own story, and for many, 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 many of my powerful women friends, is that we were succeeding and becoming leaders in our fields, whatever they were. And I mean, whatever field we were in. And we hit a wall. There was something that literally, boom, stopped us in our tracks, and we were not allowed to do it like we did before. And that meant driving ourselves to exhaustion, ignoring all the signs, whatever yours was. I had friends who, you know, brain tumors, cancer, major accidents, woke up paralyzed one day, you know, like emotional breakdowns. Mine was emotional breakdowns, one after the other, you know. Mental breakdowns. I'm talking big walls. And every single one of us had to change how we approached work, how we approached our lives. And every single one of us had to literally change within the industries we were in. So all of a sudden, we had to stop trying to fit in the God complex, I call it. There's the God and the goddess in the God complex. And it's a pretty harsh world for our bodies, for our self-care, for our wellness. And we had to literally start taking our goddessness into account. We had to learn how to listen to our bodies. We had to learn how to make boundaries, to say, you know what? Nope. I take breaks. I go and put my feet on the earth sorry, I'm not taking that call. I got to go do these things. And it's like within our industries, we started to change the culture of a place because we had to. And when we had to, you know, others went, oh, I want what that has. I want what she has. Because we want leaders we want these leaders to change for us. But ultimately, if it was hard for women to change within these masculine systems, imagine how hard it is for men and those who identify as men. So I thought, we got to start with us. Women, we got to start making cultures that work for us, and then others will learn from us. That's the rise of the sacred feminine.
I love it. And so now tell us a little bit about the seeds from the sacred feminine and wisdom cards. And I'm sure, like, I am excited to have these cards because I think they're just going to be a really great reminder each day to kind of bring that feminine back. And I am guilty of like going hard and fast and kind of achieve and go and like crash and burn. And oh my gosh, yeah, it's not fun. And it's not easy to bring that feminine back into our world. So those look beautiful. Tell us how you design them too.
Well, I do. Yes and no. So yeah, these cards are for someone like you, Michelle, like in me, who overdo it, who forget how to take breaks, how to stop the rolling machine, because the machine is sophisticated. It will keep flattening everyone in its path, but obediently, we'll all rush in obediently, right? And this little deck is just a reminder to help you walk gently with yourself, and to walk gently on the planet. So this is the first Métis deck of its kind.
Very
so
cool.
My sister Louis Ador, see this beautiful artwork was created by Leah Dorian. So her artwork, and so I'll show you some of this. So this is the only copy right now. They're still on a ship somewhere.
Great, though. I'm excited to get them. Can you read a card for us today?
Yeah, so there's my little book. But here's a few cards. Just want to grab a few. Okay.
So those of you that are listening today, you have to go and watch the video because these cards are just so beautiful in the colors and the illustrations and the sun
right.
and the designs are incredible.
So they're very, very simple little, right? Very simple teachings, land-based teachings, grandmother wisdom, which, my name is Grandmother Wind, and I call myself the grandmother on the ground, whereas the ones from the spirit realm help me. But it's really, really simple, basic messages that remind you of your sacredness, or remind you of ordinary things that are sacred, because we walk around, feeling no connection to anything. In order to rise our awareness of our interconnectedness, we need to bestow relatives, birds, animals, plant life, wind, air, fire, water. We need to bestow things with sacredness, with our honor, to actually go, my feelings, to honor my feelings, to actually consider my feelings as sacred, or my physical body as sacred. When we do little things like that, our heart changes, our mind changes. We sort of get a boost of, oh yeah, I forgot. I remember that I'm sacred. I forgot. Or if you've never known you're sacred, these are good seeds to plant in the fertility of your heart and mind that we can create a better world. We can create a better day even. So all you have to do is pick one card a day if you want, or several. I'd already picked that card. Look at that. Create a sacred fire. And then the teachings in the book say how to do that. Figure it out. We'll help you create a sacred fire. So it's a very simple teachings, but to help you bring ceremony into your daily life.
And bringing ceremony into our daily life really helps us connect with our source and connect with nature, ourselves, like everything. And I didn't realize how much we were missing ritual and ceremony in our lives until just like in the last few years, where I've been adding more of that into my life. And it's like, oh wow, like this is something that I have a deep remembering of, and a longing for, but has been missing in like mainstream kind of day-to-day life for so long.
Yeah. And here we are, even in our Zoom world, right? In our little boxes. And even to have like a sacred fire going. I have a plant over here, to have alive things, have your water, have alive things near you. And remember, this is alive. This is alive. So if we can have, surround ourselves with live things in our own little workspaces, we'll go, oh yeah, hello, little fire. Hello, plant. Thanks for blessing me.
Well, I'm so lucky in my little workspace here, and I can show everyone on video. Those of you that are listening, I have this little workspace that my husband built for me, but I can see the trees and the forest and the lake.
Yay.
So as long as I I feel like I'm still alive. I feel like I'm in this box in the middle of the woods, which is amazing. And
that's sacred space right there.
Yeah, I love the idea of bringing some of that inside here, though, too. That's such a good idea. I know I do take my shoes off and go for a walk in behind me between calls sometimes, because it just regrounds me, and I feel like there's so much the screen, it emits so much electrons and energy and stuff that sometimes I just need to like go and bathe myself in the forest and get that all off of me.
Absolutely, you do. I mean, we think of it as electrical and magnetic. We are electromagnetic, but we can't be stuck in electro too long, or we need the magnetizing essence of the earth. Where you live is incredibly sacred. I think you have all of those tools right outside your window. So yeah, bring some of the things inside too.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. My husband and my kids and I, we moved from the city about 5 years ago. For that kind of longing to like get back to nature and like closer to land. And we do a lot of gardening and growing our own food here. And it feels like that part of us is just kind of reawoken. We kind of get that anxiety when we head back into the city of like, so many people, so many things. Like, kind of nice to be in the middle of nowhere here.
Rise of the sacred feminine. So you listen to the call. That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, we talked about it for a long time, and then as some of our listeners know, because I've shared this story before, we didn't listen for a long time, and then we had a flood in our house, and that was the universe's way of kicking us in the butt and making us say, "Okay, time to make a decision, you guys, get out of here." But we're so glad
Good
that
one.
we did. Yeah, and it's so great. So for people like that, like obviously not everyone can just pick up and leave the city and move out into nature, and we live off the grid on a lake, so that's not obviously a reality for others, but some other suggestions for like bringing nature close to us and really kind of opening up that feminine side of things more. What are some other suggestions that people can do just on a daily basis?
Get outside. It is, Mother Earth is everywhere. She's under your feet at every single moment. So get outside and feel the wind on your face. Listen to the birds, because regardless of how mired you are in city life, birds always find their way into our neighborhoods. And acknowledge the living things that grow around you. And if you can, walk to a little park, then take your shoes off. Get your feet on the earth, as you said that you do. Mother Earth finds you wherever you are. She's trying to connect with her children. And it's up to us to say, "Oh, I see you growing. I see you growing through the cracks of my sidewalk. I hear you, birds. Thank you for coming and giving me messages." We can do those things, but we need to go outside too. We need to stop the train for a minute or two or 10 or 15 or 30.
I love those ideas. And the seeds from the Sacred Feminine Wisdom cards are going to help us kind of with those little hints and things that we can do each day. So where can our listeners find out how to get them?
Well, depending on where you're located, we have all the links that I could find so far are at my website, andreamenard.com. And right on the front page, if you scroll down a bit, there's the cover, and you can just click on that and it'll take you to the pages where you can click and find all the links. So there's all the information, and then link. You can find all the major booksellers.
Awesome. And while you're over there, check out Andrea's TED Talk and her music. She's got some of her music on there too. There's a lot of amazing things over on your website.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah, it's great though. So you can get all sorts of nourishment over there while you're ordering the cards. So I'm excited to get my cards in soon, and so I encourage you guys to go over to her website, check them out, and grab them too. And if you want to have Andrea on your podcast, you think she'd be a fabulous guest, which she is. Make sure you reach out to us at Amplifyou, and we can help you connect you with Andrea, because she is just fabulous. So, Andrea, thank you so much for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule to share with us today. We're super honored that you spent some time with us today.
I'm so happy to be here, Michelle. Glad to be part of the family.
Awesome. Well, Amplifyou family, thank you so much for spending your time with us today too. Go on over to andreamenard.com, check out her website, grab your seeds from the Sacred Feminine Wisdom cards, and we will see you. Let us know which cards you're pulling. We want to hear. And we will see you guys in next week. Andrea, thank you again so much. We'll take care.